Hello, thank you very much. So, hello to everybody, nice to be here. So I'm going to skip my introduction because Katerina said everything about me. I'm mainly here as a regenerative farmer myself and a permaculture practitioner. And yeah, just to thank you for the invitation and the opportunity to present permaculture as a community-led movement that can contribute towards the transformation of the agricultural sector. So, permaculture, I don't know if you heard about it, is a holistic science of applied ecology that designs regenerative agroecological ecosystems which profit both for humans and nature. Permaculture opposes destructive agricultural practices such as deep tilling or use of chemical pesticides and herbicides. It enhances biodiversity, it promotes small-scale bio-intensive farming and polyculture instead of monoculture. In this presentation, I'm going to focus on three key aspects of permaculture that European policies affect a lot: soil management, water management, and community-led agrosystems. So let's talk first about soil. This complex living organism that supports life. This first image shows soil as a result of intensive farming, the left one. This is a dead soil. This is the result of us tilling and destroying the soil. The second image shows how soil should look like in our agrosystems, rich in nutrients and microorganisms, which we call topsoil. Policies should target in increasing the capacity of soil to hold water and nutrients by regenerating the life inside it. Nowadays, most of the topsoil in Europe is washed away, and the organic matter in the soil is less than 2%, leading to reduced production, even with the use of fertilizers, and eventually desertification. Regenerative practices like agroforestry, syntropic farming, perennial gardens with ground cover, holistic management of animals in combination with food forests are some techniques, just to name a few, which promote life in soil and produce healthy food in both small scale but also big scale, like the new forest farm that I'm showing on this image in USA. The second very important factor of farming in permaculture is water. 2024 was one of the driest years for the south of Greece, where I reside, in Crete, resulting in the death of thousands of very old olive trees, which was a very sad image we were seeing last summer. The second image shows how a syntropic food forest was planted in an olive grove and a permaculture garden in between in order to increase the yields of my farm until the olives grow to full production. In this way, I'm going to analyze a bit. Fast-growing planted forest species provide carbon and shade for the soil of our focus species, which is in this case olives. Nitrogen-fixing plants provide nitrogen, and annual vegetables a habitat for life in soil to increase, while providing extra yields. At the same time, rainwater is absorbed by leaving no bare soil in the farm. Policies about farming should include rainwater water harvesting. In the picture, you can see an example of a big earthwork in South Portugal, which turned the desert-looking landscape, which you can see in the first picture, to an aquatic habitat and provided water for the agriculture of the land of a community. Farmers, in times of climate crisis, should be encouraged to be self-sufficient in water supplies and enrich the aquifer rather than depleting it. Such efforts can really help to enrich the aquifer and benefit the farmer and the ecosystem around it. The users of the land is another important design element of permaculture. Thank you. The users of the land is another important design element of permaculture. Permaculture implements ecosystems that support and are supported by a community of users which benefit reciprocally by the land. Permaculture designed landscapes are aesthetically attractive to the users, financially resilient by providing diverse income to the users by educational courses, the production of the land, and many more activities, and long-term planning of the crops. In the picture, you can see an example of a community-supported agriculture permaculture farm in Greece, Cobb, which turned conventional almond growth into diverse food forests and permaculture gardens in order to support a growing community that revives an almost abandoned rural village in the middle of Greece. The last years have been some small steps of the EU policies in order to make a transition towards regenerative agriculture. However, recent shifts in policies seem disappointing for us, for regenerative farmers and educators. We would like to urge the one taking decisions to re-establish policies and subsidies and incentives for farmers to use regenerative agricultural techniques enhancing life of the soil. Without them, the subsidies for chemical agriculture techniques for farming and continuous market competition make it financially non-viable. We urge you to establish the proper European legal framework and control mechanisms that will allow farmers to collect and value and reuse rainwater. These are already, I showed some examples where demonstration sites that prove for a farmer how water earthworks increase productivity and reduce inputs and create security in times of long droughts. We urge you to incorporate permaculture as a strategic tool for transition towards more resilient agrosystems. Permaculture farms and educational projects could serve as a community hubs for farmers and citizens to learn more and connect with the land, learning useful local plants, observing regenerative practices and working together towards regeneration. My permaculture company, Community Lab, provides education. I had set off the sound part, sorry. So that's a video that was produced from some workshops we did about soil, where 10 out of 20 people that participate in our community changed their aspect about how they treat soil. They learned how to compost and how to mulch, and this was only happening with a very small farm, with a very small funding. This action should grow both in scale and impact with bigger funding, especially in the European South. Our concept is to create spaces where the land and the people could regenerate through their interaction and professional tools. It has been documented through main scientific papers that the last few years and our work on the field shows that permaculture creates a socially inclusive, productive, and carbon positive agrosystems that attract especially the young generation. So I'm posing this question to you to finish. Could permaculture be what the vision for agriculture and food, as it was published recently, describes as attractive farming, financially, aesthetically, and socially inclusive? Thank you very much for your attention. You can find more info about our work in our social media and the website. Open to questions. Thank you very much.